Have you ever noticed how longing is a trap in disguise? It sneaks up on you, bringing that tightness in your chest that feels like an invitation to go back in time to that person you know, deep down, hurt you. But therein lies the problem. Many people return only out of longing. Returning only out of longing is, in reality, an invitation to fall into the same emotional trap. The deceptive longing convinces you that what was good will return, that the pain will pass, that change has happened. But is that really true? How many times have you returned to a relationship that deep down never changed? The answer is simple: several times. Because falling into this "I'm only returning because I miss you" mindset is like entering a vicious cycle where you already know the ending, but you insist on hoping for a different outcome. When we talk about getting back together with an ex who hasn't changed, we're talking about something very common: emotional delusion. Your brain only remembers what it wants to remember: the happy moments, the promises made, the conversations that made you feel alive. But it ignores the fights, the lies, the disrespect. And this is dangerous because you make an emotional decision based on an edited memory, not reality. That's where emotional relapse comes in. You return to the same place with the same person, hoping this time will be different. But the problem isn't just with the other person, it's also with you, or rather, with what you allow into your life. If the love you experience was the kind that hurts, you're not loving. You're sabotaging yourself, and don't think that longing is love. Longing is a feeling, nothing more. True love respects, cares, and transforms. Returning just out of longing is an emotional decision often made out of need, fear of loneliness, and emptiness. And decisions made like that almost always end in pain. So tell me, how many times have you accepted being plan B, the temporary option, the one waiting for a change that never comes? How many times have you pretended to believe in empty promises? How many times have you gone back to someone who only brought you suffering? This video is for those who are tired of living this cycle. For those who want to wake up and see that returning just out of longing is indeed a terrible idea. It's time to break this pattern, to look at yourself with more love and respect. Because only then will you escape this vicious cycle and start building a better life. Like the video if you've ever fallen into this trap and want to break out of it. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos that will help you see these emotional traps more clearly. Now, answer me. Do you want to keep repeating the same mistake, hoping for a different ending? Or is it time to say enough and break free? Let's be real. Getting back together just because you miss someone is an invitation to get emotionally screwed over again. Seriously, there's no other way to put it. It's one of the dumbest decisions we can make when it comes to relationships, and anyone who's been through it knows exactly what I'm talking about. You know that. But I love them. I miss them. I can't live without them line. Man, love isn't an excuse to act like a fool. If the person you loved hasn't changed, no soap opera. Kiss can erase what they did. Going back just because you miss them is the perfect recipe for a toxic relationship. The kind that drains you, makes you lose your footing, takes away your peace. Have you ever stopped to think about how many times someone has gone back to an ex only to realize after a few days, weeks, or months that nothing had changed? that the routine of suffering was back with the same mistakes, the same lame excuses, and that horrible feeling of going around in circles. And why does this happen? Because longing, which seems so innocent, is a sentimental trap that messes with our brain. It doesn't allow us to see things clearly. It erases flaws, minimizes mistakes, and makes us believe that what matters is what could have been. But could have been doesn't pay the bills, doesn't heal the wounds, doesn't earn us respect. Let's face it, if the other person never truly respected you, never valued you, never did what you said, what makes you think they'll change just because you're back? The answer is nothing. Absolutely nothing. And here's the cold, hard truth. Those who return out of longing are accepting, consciously or unconsciously, to continue living in a cycle where their own self-esteem is the first victim. You return to a relationship that doesn't build you up, that doesn't add to you, that doesn't respect you. You give up your peace to give another chance to a story that, deep down, was never about love. It was about pain. Have you ever been there? Tell me in the comments if you've ever gotten back together with someone and later regretted it. You're not alone. Many people experience this emotional roller coaster. We want so much to believe that love conquers all that we end up ignoring clear warning signs. You know that feeling of dragging yourself along through something that's not good for you? Of wanting to stay, but at the same time feeling like you're losing yourself? That's not love, it's suffering in disguise. And there's nothing heroic about it. Returning out of longing is the worst way to romanticize pain. It's like being trapped in a bad movie whose plot we already know, but we insist on pressing play every time. How many times have you pressed play and ended up hurt? It's time to stop being a supporting character in your own life. There's no romanticizing here. Here lies a truth that hurts, but liberates. You deserve more than what you've experienced. You deserve a love that respects your time, your space, your story. A love that doesn't need excuses to exist, that doesn't need to be repeated, that doesn't need a vicious cycle to sustain itself. And I know you might be thinking, but what if I'm wrong? What if I'm ungrateful for not giving another chance? Then I ask you, those who truly love don't hold the other person hostage to their doubts, their fear of loneliness, their insecurity. Those who love respect, and respect means knowing when to move on. You're not being cruel to yourself by breaking a cycle that's hurting you. You're being brave because deciding not to return is deciding to truly love yourself. It's taking a firm stand against the emotional trap created by longing. And for those who think, oh, but it's hard, I say, of course it's hard. Nothing worthwhile comes easy. But it's much better to feel the weight of the decision to move on than to carry the weight of repeated pain, an open wound that never heals. If you've been through this, share your experience here. Let's create a chain of support because no one deserves to go through this roller coaster alone. Share this video with someone who's thinking about going back just because they miss it. Maybe they need to hear this hard truth today, and tell me, are you willing to continue this vicious cycle? Or are you ready to put an end to this story? To take a stand and choose your peace, your self-love, your freedom. If you want help getting out of this, follow the channel. Here we tell the truth without bullshit to wake up those who need to wake up from this emotional trap. Now, think about, What really changes when you decide not to go back just because you miss it. When, for the first time, you decide to close that door once and for all and look forward. The answer may seem simple, but it's powerful. It changes everything. It changes because you finally put yourself at the center of your life. Because when we stop feeding a cycle that only brings pain, we begin to make room for what really matters, for your growth, for your peace, for the love you truly deserve. And you know what's most incredible? This isn't just talk. It's real transformation. You may even feel enormous fear at first, fear of loneliness, of silence, of the emptiness left by longing. But the truth is that this emptiness is just the space that the new will occupy. Emptiness is the opportunity to know yourself better, to strengthen yourself, to build something that isn't based on suffering. When you take a stand and say, "No, I deserve more," the cycle breaks. You begin to free yourself from those invisible bonds created by longing and fear. And little by little, this freedom becomes strength. The strength to set boundaries, to say no when necessary, to prioritize your emotional health. And it's this strength that will attract people who truly want the best for you. Because look, those who don't respect you don't deserve your attention. Those who haven't changed don't deserve your return. And those who made you suffer don't deserve your easy forgiveness. Taking a stand isn't about being harsh or cold. It's about being wise and kind to yourself. It's about understanding that loving yourself is the first step toward any true love you want to build in the future. Now, I invite you to make a different choice. A choice that requires courage, but that rewards twice as much. Choose self-love. Choose emotional freedom. Choose the path that doesn't leave you trapped in the past, but leads you to a future where you are the protagonist of your story. If you feel ready for this transformation, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Here, we'll walk together on this journey of self-discovery and overcoming, without fussing or romanticizing pain. And tell me, when was the moment you realized you needed to break free from this cycle? Share it in the comments. Your story might inspire someone who needs that strength right now. Remember, what you don't face, you repeat. And returning just out of nostalgia is exactly that, repeating what already hurt you. But you have the power to change this story. Thank you for being here this far. Let's leave bad ideas behind and build a better path together.